Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. As political tensions escalate in Rivers State, the Ijaw Youth Council (IYC) has issued a stern warning against any attempt to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara, vowing to resist such moves. In a communique jointly signed by Chairman Comrade Bisohari and Secretary People, the group accused former Governor Nyesom Wike and the Martin Ameole-led State House of Assembly of fueling the crisis in a bid to control the state's resources. The bone of contention in this crisis is a desperate attempt by the FCT minister to maintain control over the state's resources, which Governor Fubara has firmly resisted, said Comrade Bisohari while reading the communique. Fubara's mantra, Rivers Money for Rivers People, clearly reflects his commitment to prioritizing the welfare of our citizens. The IYC also condemned the alleged move to halt federal revenue allocation to the state, warning that such actions will have their consequences on civil servants and critical sectors like health care and education. We have supported every governor of Rivers State in the past, and we demand the same respect for Governor Fubara to complete his 2 terms. Our people have sacrificed too much in the name of political loyalty, and we will not stand idly by as these threats jeopardize our collective future. Calling for dialogue and cooperation among political leaders, the IYC urged all parties to resolve their differences peacefully without resorting to impeachment or other destabilizing tactics. The group warned that if any attempts to remove Fubara continue, those responsible would face the consequences, potentially leading to a breakdown of law and order in the state. The IYC also commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his intervention so far and urged him to take further steps to ensure that democracy prevails in Rivers State. The communique concluded with a call for unity among all ethnic groups in the state, reaffirming their support for Governor Fubara and his administration. Well, what are your thoughts on this report?
Yes. You see, freedom of speech is a constitutional right. Every Nigerian have rights to freedom of speech and expression. Okay, and we have read in different tabloids, where the IYC and other Ijaw groups keep the last paragraph of that story, where he submitted by calling on other ethnic groups to come together. That's what the call should be. It should be a collective call of unity, not a call to threats. Okay, because people should be wary of the choice of words. We should be very careful of the diction we use, the phrases and all that, so that parties may not misunderstand what the followers, body language of the followers. Politicians are very trickish people. They at times look at the body language of their followers. So this is a time to call on my brothers. Please, we want peace in Rivers State. What we are only looking at. Amid
sexual harassment allegations leveled against the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the Red Chamber on Thursday passed a vote of confidence on its presiding officer. The decision followed a brief debate on a motion sponsored by the Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele. In his presentation, Senator Bamidele said there was no time in the 10th Senate that a sexual harassment claim was reported by Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan or any female lawmaker for that matter. Bamidele equally insisted that those accusing Akpabio of being a judge
to vacate the office of the Senate President. This call, it's in line with character. It has to prove, it has to show that I have character, that I've been accused as a Senate President. I should step aside. Oh, now if I were him, I would be the one asking the Ethics Committee to investigate the matter thoroughly so as to clear his name. So as to clear his name. Don't forget, this is the third high-ranking government official in the country, the number 3 citizen of Nigeria, is being accused by a colleague for sexual harassment. It is something Nigerians need to look in depth. Don't forget, suspending Natasha for 6 months, you have suspended the representation meant for the constituents for 6 months, and that is an aberration, that is unlawful, that is unconstitutional, because the Constitution allows for representation. There are 109 senators, senatorial districts. This senator is representing a people. So when you this is a call to them to look inwards. Let them look at their rules, right, and shift grounds. They should reverse themselves, and possibly they can reduce the suspension to be lawful, despite the fact that Section 60 have allowed them to make regulations and to regulate themselves. But that doesn't mean your regulations will violate the rights of constituents. The Senate should also know that the people of Kogi could bring an action against them because of lack of representation. Article 13 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights says a people must be represented. It is a right. It is inalienable, and we are saying, Senate, even though Natasha may have infringed on the rules and procedures of the House, reverse the suspension within the time bound by the law, and which the court have given a pronouncement that you cannot suspend a legislator more than 14 days. So having suspended Natasha for 6 months, that you have infringed on her right of fair hearing, number one, and you have infringed on the rights of the constituents of lack of representation.
Now, what are your thoughts as regards Natasha going to IPU?
Which injustice will not be sustained. See, in pursuit of justice, parties most times, go wide in search of justice. Possibly, Natasha suspects that her voice is being gagged. So she wants a platform where she could be held, a platform where can compel the red chamber to do the rule of law. And Nigerian Senate, it's a subsidiary or a certified member of the IPU. So I think they have some internal arrangement on how to strengthen lawmaking process, how to possibly give grants to lawmakers in maybe third world nation or something. So I believe Judges Committee should reverse
that report. The member representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has filed contempt charges against the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and others for over her 6-month suspension without pay from the Senate. Others listed in the firm 48 contempt charge filed before the Federal High Court in Abuja and cited on Thursday include the Clerk of the National Assembly and the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Code of Conduct, Senator Nadal Masun. This is coming after Justice Obiora Agwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja informed March while delivering a ruling on an ex parte motion filed by Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan through her legal team led by Mr. Michael Newman San restrained the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Code of Conduct from proceeding with any investigation against the plaintiff applicant. This investigation related to alleged misconduct following events that occurred during the Senate plenary session on February 20, 2025 and a subsequent referral on February 25, 2025, while the court order was to remain in effect pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice for an interlocutory injunction. The court also issued an order directing the defendants to show cause why an interlocutory injunction should not be granted to restrain proceeding with the purported investigation against Senator Akpotu Uduaghan for alleged misconduct, as such actions would affect her privileges as stipulated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. The scenes such as delivering them to the Clerk of the National Assembly cited as the first defendant, or by pasting them on the premises of the National Assembly and publishing them into national dailies. Quick one on your thoughts on this report before we wrap up the show.
Yes, in my view, it is still in pursuit of justice. She has gone to court to ask the court to, allow the contempt proceedings or charges against the Senate President and others to stand. This
will be investigated, which
yes.
was not followed through.
I was coming to that.
Okay.
The Senate Ethics and Privileges Committee went ahead and dished out their suspension